What is up, y'all? It is your host, Renny, and you're listening to another episode of the Call Me Crazy podcast.
Thankfully. Did it start yet? Is all my...
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. That's on camera. Woo!
Listen, it took us a while to get here.
Girl.
It took us a while to get here, but we're here.
We made it. After
my God.
About 7 years.
We made it.
We did. I'm proud of us, actually. I'm proud of the studio.
Yeah.
I'm proud of God. I'm proud.
That memory card.
Facts. I'm proud of all of it, honestly. This is yes, long awaited, long overdue. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what questions you have.
I know. So I asked Shania to be on the podcast about 2 years ago in 2020 when I started the podcast and I was only on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really happy that timing just ended up the way that it did, because now we're on all major platforms, even the smaller platforms. We're still on YouTube, but I just feel like this is going to be so much more impactful. And so I think it was last week we had tried to film. And it's crazy because I even walking to the office in my head was like, I'm so down today, and I'm not usually this down. I'm tired. Like almost to the point of just exhaustion.
Yeah.
And you even said it yourself. You were like, we weren't meant to film today. Mm-hmm. And like going back to my car and dealing with all the technical difficulties that I did that stopped us from recording that day, I was like, I really said that shit, and then it went to shit.
That's exactly how it happens.
Seconds, like between seconds. And maybe it was because I was so exhausted that I couldn't figure that small detail out myself. Had to go to Best Buy, ask Geek Squad about it. But I really truly believe that when you set an intention, like your tongue is a sword, and like it can really manifest. Like, so again, timing is everything. We're here today, and I just can't wait to dive in.
I know, me too. I'm excited. Yes. Everything happens for a reason, though. I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Everything's in timing, how it should be, even when it doesn't seem like it in that moment, because it definitely didn't seem like it in that moment.
No, it didn't. I was like, okay.
But nonetheless, we're
here. So I know Shania. I feel like we knew of each other in school, but like we didn't really connect.
We never really connected,
on like that deeper level. But I've always known of the prettiest girl in school.
Oh my
Shania.
God, girl, you better stop. You better stop. Don't
pretend like you don't know what people say about you at the Hill. Now, don't pretend.
I don't know what she's talking about. For the record, I have no idea what she's talking about. No clue. If you calling me pretty, I'll take it. You call me pretty. I think you're pretty too.
Thank you. But no, seriously, like so beautiful inside and out. I've only ever heard good things about you, and like from experiences in high school, that's usually not the case. You know, someone always has something bad to say, even if you're the greatest person. So it's actually pretty impressive that I never caught wind of any shit talking about Shania.
That actually means a lot to me. That means a lot.
It's true.
Probably isn't true now these days, but
now you know yourself enough to not care.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely so.
It's good. So Shania, out of high school, what was like the trajectory? What was the timeline for you?
Yeah, so you know what? Actually, I graduated out of high school thinking that I was going to go to college down south.
And what year was that for the people?
I graduated 2016.
Right.
So I did graduate out of college at 2020. I did my 4-year degree, but I ended up at Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven. And that was the only, with the exception of Eastern, the only school that I had applied to in Connecticut, because I was just so like
done.
Set. Yeah, I was like, I'm going. Bye, Mom and Dad. Like, y'all never seeing me again. And then my whole goal was to go to a school that was out of state, far away, and then we just didn't have the money. And I didn't realize that we didn't have the money until after I had paid and sent out all my applications to every other school.
Right.
So like my parents had to sit down with me and talk to me and say, hey Shania, like it's probably better if you stay in state. And so I ended up having to go to my safety school, and I was super, super, super sad about it. I did not want to go to Southern at all. And then when I went to Southern, it was just like I thank God every day, because if I never went to Southern, I never would have met the person that introduced me to the business that I do now.
Wow.
Which completely changed my entire trajectory of life, how I look at life, everything. And it was only because I went to that school.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought I was gonna go to school, graduate, get my career going. That was the original plan. And then when COVID happened is when that kind of,
right.
you know.
So did you have a little fake graduation?
You know what, I did not. What we did, my parents got me a little cake, and it said, congrats, Shania. I was in my pajamas. I wore a class of 2020 Southern t-shirt, and I was in my chanclas, my pajamas, and we just cut the cake at my house. I didn't go, I missed the virtual thing because I was traveling, and then they had a in-person walk for like the people that missed their graduation, but I just didn't even end up going to that. I think I was traveling for that too. So
graduations have to be along with weddings, a great milestone, but such a long ceremony.
Process, you know, yeah. I was really thinking about I was gonna sit there and listen to every single name called out, and for the other class and for my class,
and then have your family and friends sit through all that.
Okay, I know they wouldn't. I know they wouldn't. My parents would have been very proud. I mean, they're still proud. I'm very grateful that I have a very, very, very awesome family, but. You know, I feel like the graduation was such a cliche thing that I thought I needed, and then when it just didn't unfold, I was just like, well,
I didn't actually need it.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. there will be other milestones in my life that'll be a lot more enjoyable for everybody to celebrate.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So you said you met the person who introduced you to the business you're in now at school. Was that person also a student? Was it a faculty?
Yes.
So
it was a student, and he was the guy on campus that everybody knows. You know those people that everybody knows this person? And he lived in my dorm that I lived in my freshman year, and he was a year above me.
Okay.
And he used to always just make friends with everybody, super just kind of out there, vocal player of the campus. And me and him became friends because we had mutual friends.
Right.
And we would always just see each other in our dorm room. So we actually ended up getting really close, and me and him we're both Scorpios. We both butt heads every single day. He's a brother to me now, but he was always the person that was super 10 steps ahead of everybody in terms of business or investing or money. He was talking about crypto before I even knew what a Bitcoin was. You know what I mean? He was that person. And I completely disregarded everything that he said for a very long time. And then I basically had to humble myself to ask him about what it was that he was doing, because he dropped out of our college.
Early.
And yeah, he dropped out early. He moved to Miami, and this man bought a penthouse in Miami. He was 21 when he did that, and I'm watching him do this. He's been talking to me about oh, I need to get into investing, I need to get in trading, entrepreneurship, I need to take this route. And I was like, no, dude, I got everything laid out. I'm gonna do this. I'm graduating. This is my degree. This is my career after. And when COVID happened is when I was like, okay, I actually don't have any of those things. I don't have any of that anymore. So I went to him, and I just had to just have no ego, you know what I mean? And just ask for help from somebody that dropped out of the school that I graduated with, 4.0, you know what I mean? So,
wow, 4.0, impressive.
Girl, I was Dean's List for no reason.
Not for no reason though.
You know,
did that.
I did that, and I'm
follow-through.
proud of it. But it's I really look back at all the times I pulled so many all-nighters. I stressed over papers, assignments, for all of it to equate out to girl, you could have been a C student and gotten to where you are right now. You know, so but I'm grateful, because I just think a person that wants to do good.
Yeah.
But
I think not for nothing, an experience and diligence and determination like that helps you for what you're doing right now. You know, the actual self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, yes.
So yes, lost cause when you think about it, but also no, this was your path. This was, everything happens for a reason, right?
Right.
And because I didn't go to college, I just commend so many of my friends and people that I see who go through it, because it's not an easy feat. So I almost feel like if you take anything away, it's like I can do anything.
Yeah, well,
You know?
I appreciate that insight,
Yeah.
honestly, because now I have such a different perspective of college, being that I was able to go through it and graduate through it. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe that anybody can do anything in this life without having a college degree.
Yeah,
like,
truly,
no question.
Truly.
And, like, you know, it's just
that's how
the fact of it.
Yeah, especially in this day and age, I feel like there was validity to our parents telling us, no, you have to go to school, right? Because in their day and age, that was the actual truth. That was society's norm, and it was the stepping stone to the next level of adulthood. So, you know, they're not wrong, but they're just not up to speed.
Yeah, there's so many things have adapted and so many things have changed that it's like, you know, just in the day of 2022, it's kind of like, you know, you can open up your phone, go on the internet, and find any answer to any question that you could possibly imagine. So exactly how you said, there is a lot of validity, because that was how they needed to get to their next level, but we have a completely different generation.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. My ringer's on. So I have you here today, not only because, check it.
Make sure really good. That should be good.
So I have you here today. You're kicking off the new series. I just closed out the mental health series, which was Give Yourself Grace. And this series is Be About Your Business. And if anyone is about her business in this town, it is Shania J. So I'm so happy to have you here to talk about business. And like you said, people can do things without that education. I'm probably walking proof of that, right?
100%. I commend you as well for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Really putting a voice to so many different stories, so many different faces, and especially the whole mental health even spectrum is so
large.
It's so much information that's in that, and there's so many people that are really like going through real things that need kind of that outlet or even that source of info that you're allowing for people to like come into. So I commend you, girl. You're really out here doing your thing too.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's special to like interview people on these different topics, because of course I want to talk about it and I have an opinion on it and I have experience and knowledge on it, but it's such an amazingly beautiful, abundant world. I want to hear from professionals. I want to hear from, you know, normal people and their experiences. I want to hear from everyone, and I feel like the audience does too.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to have you here. I'm also happy to have you here because I've been trying to learn about what you do from afar, because my schedule is just so crazy. Every time you send me an event, I'm either asleep or at an event myself.
We always have events too. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, but I always have wanted to dive deeper on what you do and just find out if like someone who has such a crazy schedule like me can even keep up with dipping my toe in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like we'll get some really great information today.
Yeah.
But let's just start off with, what is your business? What do you do?
Yes. Okay, cool. So basically, the business that I'm involved in, it's an educational platform that teaches individuals how to make money all through digital Wi-Fi. So the whole point of it is to take kind of this like idea of like Wall Street, this like elusive kind of like investor like concept, and bring it to regular people that look like us, that talk like us, that dress like us, that want to just be a little bit more aware and a little bit more on top of their money. And so what I do every day, I trade, I invest, and I market for the platform. So that's what I do for a living now. I've been doing it for the past 3 years, and it's super, super insane because I never even could have considered this being my lane ever in a million years. But now, like, cryptocurrency is one of my like biggest kind of things that makes me excited when like I'm able to share a concept with people or talk to people about it or explain something, because I know that for me, I didn't have anybody that was talking about this stuff that was like making it make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like that could break it down. And my family does not come from money. I had no entrepreneurs in my family, no investors in my family. So it wasn't like this thing that was like, oh, like, yeah, anybody could do that. I know friends, I have friends that like they grow up and their parents are involved in stocks or whatever the case. But for me, that was like a very like, that is not my lane.
Foreign.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I have nothing to do with that. I will never want anything to do with that. So, you know, that's kind of in a nutshell what the platform does, is just help people really understand these big words and like these kind of like things that don't seem too digestible from like a grand scale.
And take it down to like layman's terms for everyone.
Exactly. And so like I'm just incredibly like grateful, because exactly kind of your situation, I didn't go to an event for over a year before I actually was like in a room and I like sat down and I was like, okay, whatever, like let me just see what these people are talking about. I put it off for so long. And then I sat in this room, and the person that was speaking, he actually graduated from Southern Connecticut State a few years before me. Never had met him, never met the person that introduced me to the business.
Right.
It was just kind of like this
By happenstance.
random thing that he happened to be there. And that was the first room that I ever sat in. And this dude was literally like, he's a multimillionaire. He's traveling the world. He's like doing this for a living. And he's like, you guys, like it works. It's just a matter if you're going to take it serious or not. And so like, really that's what it took for me to be like, okay, like Shania, like these people, like anybody in this room right now could do this. It's just a matter of like your work ethic. And at the time I was bartending. So I worked in the bartender, server, like life for a really long time. Yeah. And when COVID happened as well, like those bar jobs stopped, and that dove me into this full force, because I was like, okay, here I am sitting with a platform of how to make money online, and I'm like not really taking it super serious. Like I had started to dabble into it, started to ask some questions, but wasn't really, I was like still very far off. And I just immersed myself in it. And being able to immerse myself allowed me to just feel this like different level of like knowledge, you know, and different level of education. So I'm not walking around the street and people are telling me, oh, buy this, buy that, invest in this, put your money here, and I don't know what they're talking about or like what they're saying. Right. So, you know, I know it's not everybody's thing, and it's not everybody's, you know, passion or forte, but the same way I didn't wake up one day and was like, I want to learn about crypto. You know what I mean? Like I want to be a trader investor. Like that never happened. It was just like, it was timing kind of like allowed me to see the education, and once I saw the value of it is how I started to take it more serious. Wow. So yeah, telling you anybody could do this. Anybody on the face planet, no matter if they have a really busy schedule or not a busy schedule, because when I started I was at college, I was bartending kind of on the side here and there, and then I was like involved in every single club you could imagine, like on campus doing a bunch of different things. So like,
yeah, Dean's List, you had to be
everywhere. So, you know, I started this as this is gonna be a side hustle type of thing, and it turned into full-time.
That's incredible. So you said 3 years. When did it start becoming full-time? 3 years ago?
It started full-time right after the pandemic was over.
Okay.
So,
well, girl, we still in it, I think.
Well, yeah, okay, you know what? We still in it.
So right, what year?
Right after the lockdown was over. So that was 2020. It was 2020 going into like 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was like really fully like, okay, like I don't need to go back to a job, because when the bars shut down, I went home, obviously, like we were all locked down. And I just took out my laptop and I started to like really like study into this stuff. And then when lockdown ended, my manager like called me up and was like, all right, girl, like you on the schedule these days, you open the restaurant these days, you close these days, here's your doubles. And I was like, I'm not gonna be back. Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm okay, like thank you, but like I think this is it. And they didn't know that I was trading at the time. Like nobody knew. I was so scared to talk about it when I first started, because I didn't want to be that girl.
Yeah.
I was so
that girl
afraid.
in your DMs.
That girl that's, hey, do you want to learn about how to generate another stream of income?
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks because there's so many people that do that still currently to this day.
That ruin it.
And
ruin the reputation.
whole vibe of everything. Yeah, like
it's so true.
There's genuine information here. There's genuine people really trying to help people here. But because there's people that also do stuff like that, it takes it down.
Corrupts
yeah, so I didn't want to be that girl. I was like so shy about it, so like in my shell. But then I started to get results, and then the results was just like, okay, like
speaks for itself.
Yeah, like if I'm getting these results, like my family's gonna know about this, my best friends are gonna know about this, and that's all I intended for in the beginning. But now it's grown, and I work with people all over the world, which is super cool to me. But Yeah, it was not, I couldn't see it in a million years. I never would have guessed. But yeah, right after the pandemic, or the lockdown, I should say. Yeah. Whew, I don't want to be incorrect out here.
You went to school for 4 years, right? Graduated and everything. Would you say that helped you in any way, or do you think that there are classes that you can take in college that might aid you in this kind of industry? Is there any requirements education-wise before you get to start? Like, what does that look like? What does your resume have to look like?
In terms of this business?
Yeah.
You need absolutely nothing.
Wow.
You need a desire to learn something new and the ability to be coachable. And if you have those two things, you have a work ethic, you have self-discipline that you talked about, you have just a vision for your future, you literally don't need a single thing other than that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's insane. It's actually insane.
So what is your day-to-day like? Like, what are your responsibilities? What do you have to do to execute the results that you're getting now?
So a very, very, very big part of this, in order to execute results, that I think a lot of people overlook, is you have to work on yourself. So I spend a lot of my day working on myself. I meditate, I journal, I write down affirmations, I speak affirmations out, I exercise, I work out, I pray every day, give gratitude. I do a lot of things that is going to put me in the feeling of the results that I want. For some people, they can't really, understand that, or they think it's like, this like,
woo-woo.
That is a very large part of any success for any multimillionaire, billionaire that you see. So that's definitely a lot of, my morning time. That's a lot of kind of like, my personal time. I spend time with my family at night and stuff like that. And then during the day, my day looks like me managing my social medias, which has been a really, really, really struggle for me, actually, because social media used to give me a lot of anxiety. That's a thing that not many people know, but like posting on social media, figuring out content, captions, all that stuff used to stress me out. So before this business, I never used to post, but now I understand that social media is your resume, your digital resume now in today's world. So I spend time on social media. I have to answer a bunch of DMs. Every single day there's a lot of DMs. It's just sitting there waiting for me, and I have to go into them. Not have to, I get to go into them and, respond to people, meet people. And then I spend a lot of my day as well focused on my team. So my team will set up calls for me. They'll get me connected to other people that are in other industries, people in other countries, whatever the case might be. And then I trade. I have to trade in the mornings. For me, I think that everybody should have like a time that they trade. My time used to be like in the middle of the night. That don't really work too well.
I was gonna ask about that.
For my health, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I used to trade at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Now I trade around like 9:30, 10 a.m.
And what's the difference?
There is no difference, honestly. It depends
because
on the person.
It's global,
yeah,
right?
It depends.
So people are in different time zones.
The difference is what makes you feel better.
Yeah, because I was seeing y'all stay up late night, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely not for me.
No. I used
the
to
5 a.m.
really
post, like, yeah, buddy.
Gosh.
I was like, oh, damn.
No, I can't. I wake up now at 5 a.m., which has also been a struggle. But girl, I couldn't do it to myself anymore. I like in the middle of the night, it's called a London session, and in the morning time, it's called the New York session. Okay. And I used to like the London session because I used to be up anyways, so I'd be like, oh, I'm up anyway, let me get to a bag. But then it's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, it's not sustainable. So all of that kind of like takes up the chunk of my day, and then it's just like little housekeeping things, like setting up events, planning for events. Tonight we have an event, making sure that everybody's like in tune with what they need to have and do, and connect with people that have questions, stuff like that. So just like all of that, but in different orders every day. Okay, because it ultimately depends on things that I have going on as well. Like for instance, this podcast. This is something that I block out my day, and then
figure out the rest around it.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. That's actually, I think, one of my favorite things about working for yourself. Is just being able to do that. I know you know what that's like, but like,
my gosh, yeah,
such a luxury. And
such a luxury.
I think I take it so much more, like, I'm so grateful for it because the fact that I literally used to work every single day, like 7 days a week. So, I like it a lot.
I like to think about me working as an employee since the age of like 13, 14 up until now, never stopping is like a crazy thought. Like that is, you know, over 10 years of work. And to now be able to like be at the dog park for 2 hours and like
do you
not rush anywhere. Like I was at the dog park for 2 hours. I went home, I fed the dogs, I had a strategy meeting with a client from 11 to 1:45. I went home, let the dogs out, edited the podcast, and I came here.
You see, like it's just, I would never get over it. Like I pray I never get over it.
Exactly.
Because that feeling is really nice. I never knew how good it felt to just not have to worry about being somewhere at a specific time. I felt like I was always rushing everywhere.
Right. And it's like when I have an appointment, when I have something to make, I'm always working with a client who understands if I'm 5 minutes early or if I'm 5 minutes late. Whereas when you're working for someone instead of with someone, it's like you get that anxiety. I'm going to be reprimanded. I might get a shift taken away from me. I might get fired because it's the 5th time I've been 5 minutes late in 5 months. And my manager is telling me X, Y, and Z. So it's such a freeing feeling to feel like the only person who's breathing on my neck is me. I'm like,
girl, you gotta get to it. That'd be me to me though. Me versus me every day.
Every day. But it's that self-discipline because everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. But if everyone had the freedom to make their own schedule, I don't think they do what we do on a daily, you know? And that's the difference. And that's what sets people apart. It's not easy. It's easier, right? But it's not easy.
At all. And I do think genuinely people can develop that as a skill as well. Because if you had talked to me 3 years ago, if you had talked to me in West Hill talking about like some girl wake up early and meditate, I would have thought you were crazy. Like I would have thought you were absolutely crazy that I was gonna do that. Like I'm gonna sit down, my eyes closed, and like think about nothing. Like you know what I mean? And like now it's like something that if I'm not doing that throughout the day, I'm like off. So it's like it's
almost like your coffee in the morning.
Anybody can like develop that to be like their norm, but it just takes so much work. And I heard this where it was like, in order for your new self to kind of evolve, you have to let your old self die. And I remember the first time I heard that, I thought it was super like depressing, and I was like, I don't like that. But like it's very much true because it's like you have to let go of everything that like old Shania or old Renny or old whoever knew to be like the person that you envision for your future life.
100%. I think it was a quote, I'm gonna misquote it, but I posted it on my, like in a swipe on my Instagram, and it was like, people don't decide their futures, they decide their habits that they do every day, right? And so like, I've always had a hustle mentality. I grew up in starvation, so I don't know why, but since a very young age, I knew I was gonna be famous, right? I'm not famous now, but I knew, and I know that I will be famous, right? And fame has changed definitions for me. For me, fame today is having a grand impact on the world, right? So it's not so much being in movies, being a model like I once was, or anything like that. It's just having a big enough platform to make a difference. So I always knew that, but to your point, like if you told 10-year-old Renny, hey, at 22, you'll be working while on vacation. I'd been like, how though? How? Tell me how. Like, I wouldn't have believed it, but I literally wrote and spoke into existence. One day I want to travel for work, and then all of a sudden one day I was traveling for work.
That's so crazy. You know what I used to tell myself? You know when people ask me like, oh, like what do you want to be when you grow up? Like I used to get that question every day, and I never had a clear answer, but I always used to say these two things. I would say I just want to be able to talk to new people every day, and I want to be able to travel. And that was it. That was all that I wanted to do. So now here we are doing exactly those things. It's crazy how we spoke it out, though.
It's true. It's really true. Okay, so I want to get into some definitions because I am a novice in this space. I do not know anything.
Yes.
Right? So, and if you don't work with the definitions I'm asking for, then you can just be like, this is not my scope of practice. What is cryptocurrency?
Okay, cool. So cryptocurrency, essentially, aka digital currency, it's literally just on-chain transactions where there is no physical fiat paper money. And everything is done in cryptocurrency through digital, decentralized banking systems. So if I could put that into like more simple terms, basically like right now, you know, I have a bank. You have a bank. Most people have bank accounts. So like I have Bank of America, for instance. So Bank of America is something that's known as a centralized banking system, meaning there is a CEO, and then the CEO of Bank of America has supervisors. The supervisors have managers, and then the managers have their sub-teams and their divisions all over the country that go over the policies, and they make the, you know, regulations for, exactly, for Bank of America. Now, when we go put our money into the banks are taking that money out of the systems that they have. They're taking it out of the accounts, and they're trading that money. They're flipping that money, investing that money. And they take all of our money that's in our savings account and they flip it in these markets.
I saw you say that on your story like
insane.
Yesterday or the day before.
It's
and
crazy.
I like couldn't comprehend exactly what, like, cause you know, on Instagram you can only be so.
It's fast.
But I was like, wait, they doing what?
Yes.
With my what?
Girl, they taking our money. And this was like such a big push for as to why I was like, if the banks are already doing this with my money, why would I not be doing this with my money? So they're already taking our money. They're pouring it into, you know, foreign exchange. It's huge. They're pouring it into other cryptocurrency, into just other loans and things like that. They're making millions off of our money, and then they return back to us into our accounts that 0.00001 interest rate or 0.000 whatever it is interest rate. And that's how we make interest on our money. So when you're looking at a centralized banking system, there's literally like authorities. There are people that are in charge of our money, and they're deciding what's happening. When it comes to crypto now, we are the only people that can be in charge of our money. So we are the only people that have any authority over where we send it, who we send it to, the capacity of which we send it, you know, how many times we're able to send it. And it's a just completely different like scope of how we understand money, because traditionally we're just taught that we need to store it in this bank because this is what we've always done.
This is the trusted system.
If you look at a bank, like a bank is just a building. That's all it is. A bank is, like, this could be a bank if we put the word bank, you know, on the outside. A bank is just 4 walls and a ceiling, but we understand it to be these icons of wealth because of the fact that they have all this money. But nobody ever questions, why do they have all that money? Because they know how to use the money. So with cryptocurrency now, it being decentralized means that there is no central authority. It's all based off of just us. You know what I'm saying? The way that it strengthens is through more peer-to-peer transactions. Everything is verifiable. You can track everything. You can see everything. So there's no way that it can be frauded or, you know,
taken advantage of.
Exactly. And like the technology behind cryptocurrency, when it comes to like blockchain, I don't know if you were going to ask this at a later point too, but when it comes to like blockchain technology, which is something super important when you're dealing with crypto, basically all that is, it's a way to, exactly how I just said, verify every single thing that happens in that network. So this can be taken into the government. This can be taken into politics when we have voting booths, when we have polls, and, you know, we're wondering if there were, you know, miscounted ballots. You can have blockchain technology to make sure that every single vote, as soon as it's tallied, it goes through and that's done, and you can now track it. You can trace it.
But why would they want that?
Why would they want that? Exactly.
Because you can't manipulate it.
Exactly. And so it's like, because you can't manipulate this is why there's so much back pressure from the government. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want people to be on board with crypto. They don't want people to. Crypto could literally destroy banking culture completely. Completely could take it away. But, you know, there's still so many people, because it is so new, there's so many people that because they see like Dogecoin or Shiba drop, because there's hundreds of thousands of different cryptocurrencies. A lot of people only understand Bitcoin, but that was just the first one. So it was the first one to be created, and it was the largest, and still is the largest today. But that's only one on the top of like a surface of so many different amazing cryptocurrencies that each have their own purpose. They do their own thing. They serve their own, value. But yeah, it's just like nobody is really super, unless you know about crypto and you're educated on it, nobody is super like gung-ho because it's so different than what we're used to. Yeah.
So new. And I think that's my biggest thing is like, when I got over fear of X, it led me to greater things, right? Like all of my struggles have always been fear-based struggles, and we are trained to be scared almost, right? Like the way the media puts things, news, whatever it is, it's almost always fear-based. I think I noticed that especially during the pandemic, that they wanted us to be so afraid. And that's where I'm like, I want to learn. So you talked about, what cryptocurrency is. Do you still have a Bank of America bank account?
I do, but I do not save in my account the way that I used to save. I was like a religious saver to the point where I would have thousands of dollars in my accounts just because like I wanted to make sure like I was, saving
that
up.
Starvation mindset. It's grab it and hold it and don't let it go.
That's what I was. That's exactly how I was. That's how I operated my entire life. And then understanding investing, I started to study different people when I got into this business, and I started to stop studying like my parents. And as much as I love them and as much as every single thing that I do is for them, every single goal that I have, my immediate goals all revolve back to my parents. They don't have the best relationship when it comes to money, and it's not their fault, but they, exactly how we said before, they're thinking back in the day that we don't live in anymore. So for me, I started to study people that actually were acquiring wealth and were, studying how to figure out how to gain more wealth. And the biggest thing was that you cannot become wealthy without investing. And I didn't want to believe that for a very long time because I was like, no, like I can become wealthy on my own and like do things. But no matter what lane you're in, no matter what avenue of entrepreneurship, of whatever industry, you are investing something to be able to get back returns to take you higher. And my mindset before business was that if I wanted more money, I had to work more jobs. And that was it. Like if I wanted more money, I gotta pick up more shifts. You know what I mean? Like
more labor, more money.
Yeah, exactly.
More time, more money.
Equated the two.
If I'm running myself dry, at least I'm getting money.
Paid, right?
Yeah.
And that was my hustle mentality. Like same as you. Like I knew how to hustle. I was hustling from a very young age, so getting money wasn't gonna be a problem. But it was like, okay, I'm getting money, but I'm not multiplying this money. Like this money is just accumulating in my bank account, but I'm not taking any of this money and being able to 10x it, which is going to inevitably lead me to wealth. I can't work more and more and more jobs and think that that's going to make me wealthy.
Right, you're only one person.
Yeah.
So to scale that mindset, working more, you have 24 hours in a day. So you're capped at that point.
Yeah.
There's actually a ceiling at that point.
It's actually a ceiling. So you got to figure out a way to make money work for you and not the other way around. And that's what I started to kind of like, come to terms with. So my Bank of America account, I got change in there, but that's not, way more of my money is in investments. A lot more of my money.
Can I ask you why you still have it?
I think honestly, I would just like to have my money in a bunch of different pockets.
Okay.
So when it comes to like, just being able to have money in my bank account, there's certain things that I can't do still today without it in my bank account.
Because crypto is still so new. Yeah. It's not, can you swipe a card with crypto? Like, there's a
Coinbase card. I think it's a Coinbase, or it's either a crypto.com or a Coinbase card. I don't have it personally, but I know a couple of my friends that have it. But I haven't used it at all. I use Apple Pay for a lot of things. A lot of things are just linked to my bank account though.
Right.
So because they're linked, it's easier for me right now to be using it. Situation. Yeah. To be using that and like just having money in there to kind of cycle out. So I'm not like anti-banks. I just understand that there is so much more that so many more people could be tapping into if they just were open-minded enough to like really learn about it. So yeah, I have a few banks. I just got with Amex. like recently, but that was only, I just wanted a card for my flights. Like, hey girl, I just wanted some points. I mean, you know.
No, you travel a lot, honestly.
I
do you get to go like into any lounges or anything because of it?
So because of this card now, I can start going into like one of the Sky Lounge. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's what it is, like the Delta Sky Lounge or some shit like that.
So I'm like, okay, I needed it because
you know, I did watch a video. There was a girl on YouTube who went to all the Sky Lounges, and she like, you know, tested the food, the ambiance, how many plugs were around for you to work on and stuff. She was thorough. I love her videos. I've been watching her for probably 10 years now. And this was a new one. So that's how I know about it. And so I'll send you the link. She like rates everyone's food.
Please
and everything.
Send that thing. I need that.
But it's awesome because like if you have a delayed flight, if you have, especially with you being able to work remote, it's definitely something that you should have done.
Yes.
And
it took me some time to even get to it. I'm not gonna lie. Be out here like one of my worst habits, and all my friends make fun of me for it. I book my flight like right before I have to go.
Yeah, I noticed that. That gives me major
so
anxiety.
bad. It gives me anxiety, and like the thing is, I won't stress out until like right before I have to go, and then I'm like, yeah, like I'm just gonna go. It always somehow works out. But like I think because it always works out is why I keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't. Like it just needs to not work out.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Come on now, the system works. I've been getting there. Listen,
I've been ending up in my destination
somehow.
But no, yeah, that's a bad habit I'm getting out of. So.
Do you think that you save more money or waste a little money? Because I know people say it's either really in advance or last minute. Like if you buy in between, you have the chance of like overpaying for a flight.
Yeah.
So like, do you notice that?
When it comes to flights, I definitely overpay. When it comes to flights, yeah, ain't no thing. Because the thing is, I heard this once. One of my mentors told me this. And he's like a mentor, but like a friend. He's like a brother to me. And he said this to me one time when I was very new in the business. Like, didn't really fully go all in this business yet. But he mentioned this, and to him, like, it was probably such a, like, regular conversation, but to me, I was like, you just opened up my whole world, sir.
Yeah.
Like, breakthrough. He was like, I was trying to figure out, like, a round trip ticket to go to an event that we had. And I was kind of like, I was calling him and I was like stressed, like low key. I was like, yo, so like what days should I go? And he's like not really paying attention. He's like talking about whatever he's talking about. And then I'm like, yeah, but okay, what days should I go? Like when should I go? When should I come back? And then he was like, Shania, like what are you talking about? He was like, you're in this business now. You make money from your phone. You book one ways only. And when he said it, he just like went right on to the next thing. But when I heard it, I was like, I book one ways only. Like I book one ways only. I only book one ways. I started talking to my mom and dad. I was like, Mom, Dad, like I only book one ways, okay? Like I'm only gonna book one ways from now on. They're like, Shania, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? But I was like, couldn't even like think about that in my head because I was always so ready to go back to work.
Right.
Anytime I'm traveling, like I was like, okay, what day do I work again? Like when am I on schedule? Like that was always how I thought about everything. And so when he said that, like I was like, okay, so now I only book one ways, thanks to that information. So like I really be overspending, but it's like it doesn't feel like I'm overspending because I'm only getting a one-way flight. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was a round trip,
it would be hurting.
It would look scarier. Yeah. It would look scarier on the website, but because it's just one way, it doesn't look as bad.
Whatever works for you.
It doesn't work. Don't support that. Don't encourage that. It should not work. That should not work. With everything else though, it's very funny. I don't tend to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
The only thing that I really spend money on is my nails. I'm gonna be honest. That's it.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It shows.
They're my real nails and nobody ever believes me. So I'll high five to that. Okay, girl?
Actually, this one fake. I ain't gonna lie. This one broke on me. This one fake.
You know what?
It happens.
She had to do it.
It happens, you know? But you ain't new to this. You true to this. You talk all the time.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
When I was in preschool, my kindergarten teacher or preschool teacher said I was a great kid, but definitely can talk. Yeah.
Well, I'll take it. I
want to find her again to let her know that I talk for a living now.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. She'll see this somewhere.
Yeah.
She'll see what you're doing somewhere.
Shout out you, Mrs. Hope.
Yes, Mrs. Hope. That's a name.
I know,
That's
right?
a name. All right, so back to definitions. What is an NFT?
Okay, so an NFT is a non-fungible token. So basically all that means is it is one of one, it is unique, and it cannot be divided. It cannot be split up. You are an NFT, I am an NFT. This is actually an NFT. All the ones that glow
So
in
what
the studio.
does that mean? Like, so if this is an NFT, like if someone bought this NFT, do they also get this?
Not necessarily, but good question. So basically, when we're talking about things that are non-fungible, so cash and Bitcoin are good examples of things that are fungible. So $100 bill, if I give you a $100 bill, you could break that up into 20s, into 5s, into singles. If I give you a whole Bitcoin, you could bring that up into however many pieces of Bitcoin that you want. But with an NFT, being that it's one of one, it is just once you own it, once you purchase it and it is in your ownership, you now are the only person that can own that thing.
Until you sell it.
Yes, until you decide to sell it, if you decide to sell it. Some people don't even want to because they want to hold on to it forever. But this is actually, it was an original piece that the artist made and then decided later to list as an NFT. So now if somebody purchases her NFT, they would be able to own that NFT. Maybe she does have it set where they would get this too, because that would actually make a lot of sense, I would think.
But let's argue that she doesn't.
If she doesn't, then they would purchase that NFT and own it in a digital format, and they would be the only people that can own that thing.
And why would they want that?
Because of value and utility. So I'm gonna be honest, like when it comes to cryptocurrency, and this is where a lot of people get got. When it comes to cryptocurrency and when it comes to NFTs, about 80% of it is nonsense. Like a lot of it is not going to be worth anything in the next 5 years. And when you see somebody that's talking about, that's why when you see like celebrities start hyping up a new crypto or a new NFT, don't, you know what I'm saying? Chances, I won't say don't like get into it, but like do a lot more research, because they might just be hyping it up because somebody's trying to pay them to promote it because they want it to pop off. But when you're looking to get into any crypto or NFT project, you always want to be looking for the value of it and the utility. So meaning like, what can this actually give to somebody? What can this provide to a human being to make their life better? So for instance, like Gary Vee, I don't know if you know Gary Vee. He has he's a famous entrepreneur, but he has a great line of NFTs.
I think what's great about Gary is that I don't even think I follow him, yet he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Yeah. He is that
marketing mastermind.
He is that name. He is that person. I like that he doesn't care how he talks. But basically with him, so he has a bunch of NFTs. And when I tell you the NFTs are literally like, you could draw, a 4-year-old could draw like what the NFTs are. It's like squiggly little ducks or like penguins or like, I don't even know what they are. But they're just like children's artwork. And each of them are selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the reason why is because the utility of one, like one, for instance, gets you lunch with him or breakfast or something for an hour. One gets you...
And so how do you cash in on such a thing?
So when you purchase it, you do everything via crypto. So all NFTs are done via crypto. You have to pay for it with Ethereum. Depending on what network it is actually, because there's some Ethereum networks, there's some like other cryptocurrency networks. But that's how you would cash in, is using cryptocurrency. So in order to enter the NFT space, you do have to have a little bit of knowledge in the crypto space, because they tie together. The NFT community and space would not exist without cryptocurrency. So, you know, the NFT originated out of the Ethereum network, and that's how it just came to be. So if you own a certain amount of Ethereum and then you pay for what you see on, there's different marketplaces online. There's different like sites, basically, like how you can shop on like Facebook Marketplace. You can shop on something like OpenSea, which is like for NFTs, along with a bunch of others. You go on there, you figure out what you want, you buy it, the Ethereum is linked to your bank account or your Coinbase account or crypto.com account, whatever it is that you use, and then you're able to purchase that NFT via the site. That is how you will get it into your possession. You can hold it into that account right there, or you can trade it away, sell it, make profits on it by flipping it. But it really depends on kind of like, why would somebody want this? Because if I just went out and made an NFT right now, there's no chance. I mean, it could sell, but there's no reason that it would. You know what I mean? And there's no reason that it should, you know, because I just decided to make this thing. There's so many people that I meet these days and they're like, I'm going to make an NFT and I'm going to start a whole collection. And that's a great idea, but you have to think a lot bigger picture. The reason why NFTs blow up the way that they do is because there's communities behind it. There are people that back it. They're like, there's a culture already, and then it provides something for a human, like to really benefit from. If I just drew like a picture of a dog, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not serving community. It's not like benefiting anybody the same way. And then, you know, the only way that it wouldn't like serve necessarily is, you know, if the community is just so big. So to make that make a little bit more sense, there is the biggest NFT. I don't know if it's still currently the most popular one, but it was the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it was pictures of monkeys.
I was gonna ask about that. Okay, please explain the monkey.
Girl, so basically it's pictures of monkeys. They all have different like clothing or colored background or glasses or hats or whatever. Selling for millions, millions
Something
and millions
that I
and
just
millions
can't understand.
Right? So this is now where it might make a little bit more sense, is because of the utility. So basically, every time if I hit it, I feel like I'm like, it's disturbing the peace. But I'm gonna try to not.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but try not to.
I'm gonna try not. But basically, like, so these monkeys, okay, if you own a monkey, a certain monkey, you get access into the Bored Ape community. Now, like, for instance, members that are part of the Bored Ape are people like Steph Curry, you know, people that are A-list celebrities, people that are like up there. And they have private functions, private parties. A couple months ago, there was actually a Bored Ape Yacht Club party in New York City. And the only way that you get into that party is by owning a Bored Ape. So that's the real reason that people are spending millions. It's not for the monkey. You get, it was like,
I knew there had to be something, but I just could not understand it.
That's the utility.
Love that you brought that definition to utility, because I didn't even ask for that definition, but it is one that, it
has a purpose. That is the utility of it. It's like, me and you about to go turn up in this room full of A-listers.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? And like, if I have the money and I have the funds and I'm a billionaire, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I spend my money on anything anyways, I'm going to drop money on an ape that's going to get me into some of the most exclusive parties in the world. Okay. That's more of what it is. And then every NFT kind of goes like that as well. Okay,
follow-up question, because people are like, Renny, you're a photographer, you're an artist, you have a podcast, you should start making NFTs. What is the utility that I'm putting forth if I have a print version of a photo and I make it into NFT? Like, what utility am I bringing to this space without giving a framed version of said print that you just bought?
Well, that's actually the fun part, because that's where you can be creative. That's where you can decide how it is that you want to actually show up for people. And what I would focus on as the creative that you are, I would focus on really establishing your community. Because if you establish your community, one of the things that the most successful NFT creators do is they'll create a Discord. I don't know if you've heard of the Discord app. Or
yes, I have.
So on Discord.
But explain it for people who don't know.
Yeah, okay, cool. So Discord is basically a app. It's a community, kind of like Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, but it's specifically just messaging. And the reason that it's very popular right now is because of NFTs. So most NFT communities create a Discord chat, and that is where they drop all of their announcements, all their notifications. They drop all the updates of what's actually going on with their NFT, so the community can stay up to date. So basically, if you want to become a successful NFT creator, start up a Discord and have your community be in there. And it doesn't even need to be like this crazy amount of people, but have like 30, 50, 100 people that's inside of the chat, and build hype around the release of your NFT. So you build some hype up around the release of your NFT, then people are gonna get, excited. They're gonna get a little bit more, involved. And then by the time that you drop it, there's gonna be people that are already looking to buy. When people are looking to buy, the value of your NFT naturally is gonna go up. The value is going up, more people can place bids, you can up the price, and then that's how, the value of your work will start to kind of like snowball. That's actually something that I worked on with the artist of these NFTs. So
right,
that, you know,
yeah. So we'll definitely do a panorama of all of this amazing artwork. What was the caution, be careful? What was the money one that you pointed out to me that was your favorite?
So my favorite one is back there. I think I have two favorite ones in this room, but my favorite one is back there. And it says, caution, beware, money is an amazing servant, but a terrible master, which is just so true. And then this one I really like a lot. It says, be careful, money doesn't change people, it unmasks them. And I also think that that's very true.
Yeah. Does she have like series names for like this collection?
You know, I don't know if this is named something. Since I met her, she's always had like this dope art that's revolved around money.
Because these are very different from the money.
These are her installation light pieces. She's done a lot of like fashion as well. She's done a lot of fashion work, and she does realistic art as well. And then the majority of her stuff is this like really cool money pieces, which I don't know if there's a specific name for her collection. I'm gonna have to ask her, but
because it's dope.
It is dope. It is dope.
And one day, you know, someday soon, I'll be, you know, buying property, and I want to care about the art that's in there.
Yes,
and like
I agree.
these are such cool pieces, and with such like, you know, makes you think. And I love, you know, art that makes you think.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. I want some of the coolest pieces in my home as well.
So thank you for breaking that down.
Yeah.
What's trading?
Trading? Woo! Trading is how to flip your money. Trading is a great means of being able to. My mom. Hi, Mom. Say hi to the podcast. I'll talk to her later. I'll tell her. I'll call her back. But it's really just a means of being able to multiply your capital. And when it comes to trading, you can trade a bunch of different things. Most people only ever hear about stocks, and they only ever get into stocks without realizing that the stock market is literally one of the smallest markets that you could get into. It's also one of the markets that you'll need the most capital to actually see some sort of type of return into. And it's also just something where when stocks are doing bad, when they're doing poorly, your portfolio is in turn doing poorly. Where in the case of trading something like foreign exchange or cryptocurrency, which are the two things that I trade mainly, you're trading, and whether the markets are moving upwards or they're moving down, you're profiting based on how you enter. And I think that for me, as well as like a lot of people that I work with, that was kind of a tricky subject to understand, because it's like, okay, well, if it's going down, that usually equals bad. But it's just because we've trained ourselves because of the stock market to think that that's how that goes. But that's not actually the case. So trading is one of the only ways that it is completely recession proof for you to be able to profit.
Recession proof?
Yeah,
really?
Because if the markets are dropping and everybody's panicking, for instance, with crypto, like crypto recently took a plummet and it tanked along with everything else because our country just got announced into a recession. So stocks, bonds, real estate, crypto, everything was dropping. But when crypto was dropping is when I made some of my best trading days. So it was really just a matter of knowing, okay, the markets are going down, I'm gonna enter here for a sell. And when you're trading, there's only two things you can do. You can either buy or sell. That's it. So it's not like, you know, and the markets are also only moving two directions. They're going up or they're going down. That's it. So it's like, it's really just kind of like training your mind and your eye to pick up on patterns. But trading is 98% mental. It's 2% can you actually click a button. But what most traders have to deal with is their emotions in the beginning. Because
fighting that habit to
bad habits, bad discipline, angry trading, revenge trading. You lose your $20, you're like, nah, I gotta get that back. That will take you down a bad rabbit hole. Just being disorganized with trading, being greedy in the markets as well. That's probably one of the biggest ones, is being greedy. Once people realize how quickly they can actually create income, you start to get a little bit like, you know, a little bit hungry, and that is very dangerous. So trading is way more of just a mental game, and it's just the exchange of money from people that are impatient to people that are patient. That was one of my favorite educators, broke it down like that. And it's really, it's a skill. It's definitely a skill. It's not something that comes to somebody like right away. It took me a very long time to become confident as a trader. But it's like, I compare it to learning a new language. You know, like if you wanted to learn.
Ooh, yikes.
You know, yeah.
That's kind of hard.
If you wanted
that
to
ain't
learn
no easy feat.
German, if you want to learn Japanese, you could understand a couple things in the beginning that'll help you out, but you understanding like how to be putting together sentences is gonna take
you gotta know the ins and outs.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, like, I wouldn't say that I'm the best trader in the entire world. What I know how to do is I know how to withdraw. So I know how to make profit for myself, and I know how to take it out of the markets and pay myself. And that is something that will grow over time as you become more confident, better trader, using higher numbers, bigger accounts, stuff like that. But yeah, I say, like, you know, it'll be the most easy to understand is learning language, because you're learning about like new words that you've never heard before.
Right.
You know, you're doing new things, but that's another big reason though that this platform that I'm a part of is so like important to me in terms of like helping people, because I wouldn't know a thing if it wasn't for the platform. Like, they take everything. It's like the Rosetta Stone. What a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It is the Rosetta Stone of like understanding investing and trading.
Investing and trading. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say what this platform is? Do you want to say what this platform is?
Yeah, so I absolutely can. I think I'm allowed. I don't think there's anything wrong with that on a podcast. It's I Am Mastery Academy is what it's called. And our team is Life by Design. And when I first started...
When you say our team, is that your team? Is that the team you're a part of?
That is the team that I am a part of. There's about I can't remember how many thousands of people. There's thousands of people that are in different countries and stuff like that, associated with Life by Design. And it is the most insane team that I've ever like experienced, just because of the fact that like coming into a platform like I Am, you don't even realize that you're on a team. Like, you basically are enrolling into a platform because you met somebody. And that somebody is telling you, hey, like, this is something that I do. It could work for you. It might not work for you, but this is what I'm a part of. And then you trust in them blindly. And that's how I started. I trusted in somebody who I knew he was smart. I knew he got money. I knew he was successful. I knew he was a friend. So I was like, okay, like, whatever. Like, I don't think he's going to pull wool over my eyes. I don't think he's going to, like, try to get me. And that's how I began. And when I came into the Life by Design community, the actual platform, I Am Mastery Academy, has about 400,000 students all around the world. It's in over 100 countries. It's taught in over 13 languages. Like, it really is like a crazy platform. But then I started going to like these huge events, and I started to see Life by Design compared to like all these other teams. And it's like, this team is so like, there's so much love, and there's so much culture, and there's so much like genuine leadership and like systems and organized training and like all this stuff that just makes it so that like if you don't win, it really is just because you don't want to win. And
you didn't put the effort to it.
Yeah, that's it. And so like, I'm very grateful. So that's when I say our team, that's what I refer to as like ours is everybody that I work with. But there's so many great teams though inside of the platform. There's so many trading platforms as well. Like, I Am Mastery Academy is not the only trading platform. And it sucks when people compare platforms that I know just in terms of like validity and credibility are just not the same and will never be on the same scale. Just because like this platform, it's only been around for 10 years. So it's still so like fresh to the point where there's so much growth that it has, but it's also 10 years old to the point where it's established and it's not going anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, when we talk about like timing, like it's such a good timing of the actual overall platform right now for where it's at. It's just a matter of people, a lot of people are scared to start something new, especially when it comes to you're paying for something. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to invest to be a part of the platform, create your account, set it up. So for me, that took me a long time to get over it. I did not want to pay for nothing. I was very headstrong. I can figure it out by myself. And like, I still like am like that in like many ways. But like, I'm like super independent, and I Google and YouTube everything. So me tapping into the platform was not like...
It wasn't the easiest transition.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, okay, it makes sense. Like, it took me so long. And then once I did it, I made money that same day that I started, I made money. Yeah, and it took me over a year. So, yeah, that was kind of it. But yeah, the platform is incredible. It really is like something else. And I'm just grateful because it taught me a lot more than just money. You know, it taught me a lot more about people, myself, how to manage my life,
Your time.
Yeah, a lot of people look at becoming a millionaire in the ways of like, okay, I'm going to make $1 million and then I'm a millionaire. But it's like you really have to train your mind way more first, because once you get $1 million, you're not gonna know how to manage it. You're not gonna know what to do with it. You're gonna lose $1 million.
Yeah.
Same as quick as you got it. So yeah, just being able to prepare you as an all-around entrepreneur, an all-around like person.
That's incredible.
But yeah, that's the platform, y'all. Google it. You'll find a whole bunch of videos that some are gonna be talking great, some are gonna be talking crap, and it really is just a matter of
doing your own research.
Yeah, really like getting into it and like, you know, really being able to see and make your own discernments, because I know that it works because I've seen it work, not only just for me, but like for so many other people. But there's people that will come into the platform, don't give it no time, no energy, no effort, and then leave, quit, call it a scam. So it's like, you know, and that's for anything. Like, there are people that call Apple a scam. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So it's like, it's just, it really just.
To each his own.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a platform. It's cute or whatever. It's cute or whatever.
I be thinking or whatever. Sometimes I be having thoughts in the bathroom.
That was them shower thoughts, except on the toilet.
Oh, yes. I send out 2 voice notes right after the shower. Life hack, I've been showering without music and I've been having some crazy thoughts and ideas. Because I'm like, it's the only time that my shit's really silent. And I'm like, yeah.
Good ideas.
Yeah. Okay, well, I feel like we could talk forever. There's definitely going to be a part 2 to this. So, and it's going to be a little bit different than how I usually do podcasts.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that. I had the idea in the bathroom. I just came out of the bathroom. We're back recording. So y'all, things are happening. Things are moving.
Things are happening for sure.
But yeah, so the last definition I'm going to ask from you. I asked you about trading. You told me about blockchain. You told me about cryptocurrency. I'm trying to think, what is one thing I want to get out of you before we leave today? Or is there something that you want to leave the folks off with? Is there a definition or something that you're like, if I can leave you with one thing about the space, about this industry, about getting into it, it would be?
Anybody could do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it. Think about if there's anything that you would like for sure. Otherwise, it's part 2 for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that if I could leave anybody with anything, it would be to take the risk.
Yeah.
Take the risk.
And what steps would you say? Is the first step going to an event? Is the first step reaching out to someone like you? Is the first step doing your own research before doing any of the 2 things I just mentioned? What do you think?
I think the first step is figuring out what your goals are. Like really doing some like sit down work with yourself.
And is that goals within the industry or is that money goals?
Okay. Yeah, goals within life. Because I think what a lot of people fail to realize when it comes to this platform is like, yeah, we teach people how to like really get on top of their finances, how to get into their bag the right ways. Like we teach people all of that, but the overall goal is that you're gaining more capital to pursue your passion. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that I work with are people that are like videographers, photographers, like directors, musicians, like people that already have 6-7 figure careers and people that just graduated at college don't know what they about to do. Like, so it's like, it can be anybody. I've seen people in this platform that, you know, never had any experience and did the most research in the world before entering it. And that doesn't really matter. You know, what really matters is what is your actual goal, because I find that the people that really do well here are the people that have a solid goal that they're working towards. So, you know, for me, my family is a huge goal. I just keep them in my mind every single day. I want to be able to really help them, really allow them to not have to worry about anything other than their health. And I want to just live a life that I desire, you know what I mean, and travel and pick up and go what I want and not have to worry about price tags and can I afford this and not afford that and all that type of life. Like that's some just very big goals for me, and kind of similar to you, I really want to impact people on a very large scale. And I really want people to be able to feel the impression of positivity, you know, just from knowing a conversation or like meeting us or like, you know what I'm saying? That sounds like a little bit conceited, but no, like it's, you know, like I really believe like somebody can sit down, come to an event, reach out on Instagram, no matter how it is that they, you know, figure out how to get in tune, but you know, find a person. It doesn't need to be myself, it doesn't need to be anybody that's even in this industry. Just find a person that like has the results that you're looking for, is doing something that you can get behind, seems like a good enough person that you would want to start a conversation with, and then take the risk to reach out. You know, figure out what your goals are that you're actually working towards, so you know what you're kind of like moving for, and then just do it.
I think that speaks volumes to just life in general. Like, I knew I wanted to be famous. I knew I wanted to travel while working. I knew everything that I knew, right? But until I was like, okay, I want this much in my savings account. I want to be able to buy a house by this date. Until I started putting numbers and real life things around those goals and expectations around those goals, it wasn't until then that the needle started to move. And I feel like you can have this big far out dream, but if you don't think of all like the steps it's gonna take to get there, that's just not gonna go anywhere, right? And you're gonna be that person on Instagram hating at the Kardashians. Why? Because they getting money and they doing it. You mad?
And you're not,
right? And you're not, right? Like
bitter Twitter fingers.
I could never be upset about anyone who's making money. I can only learn from them, right? Like Kim K is a mastermind. Kris Jenner is like the devil's wear Prada. Like she's an aspiration.
She got it.
I don't want to be a Kris Jenner, but I want to learn from Kris Jenner. You know what I mean? Like, even in what I'm doing, even if I'm not going to be a momager one day, she quite literally... it's unexplainable what she did for her kids.
She took
Rob Kardashian is in the dark, but he has like 5 thriving businesses right now. Like, the man don't even go outside. He's never paparazzi'd, and somehow Kris Jenner still has that wheel turning for Rob.
Yup. No, it's real. It's real. Yeah. And then Kylie was youngest billionaire.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, anybody can take notes. And that's a really big thing too. You got to be able to be coachable to anybody. There's a lot of people that don't feel like you could learn from certain people. Every single person is a master at something. Every person in the world knows something about something that you don't.
I learn something new every single day. If you just listen. Going back to what you said about anyone can do it. Just give me your statistics. Like, what is your age? Like, what is your culture? Who do you come from? So people know, like, this isn't only for white passing folk. Like, this industry isn't only for men. You know, like, just let them know.
Well, I am 23 years old. I am a female. Proud of it.
Yeah.
And my family is from Trinidad and Tobago. So my entire family was born there, and I'm actually the only person in my family that was born in the United States. And I feel like that gave me this sense of, girl, you're not about to waste this U.S. citizenship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that a lot of people that I know, especially like today, they take that for granted. You know what I mean?
Born and raised Americans.
Just being born here. Like, it's such, like, I watch my brother and my sister, like, I'm the youngest in my family. I watch them grow up with like so many things taken away from them and so many opportunities that they couldn't have just because they were born in Trinidad.
Right. So, something so minute.
So yeah, qualified people, smart, talented people, but just couldn't really do much. And then my parents, they both to this day work every single day. So, you know, for me, like, I learned work ethic from them, and I learned like character from my siblings, but me being born here, I was given things that they weren't given, and I'm not about to waste that. So, you know, for me, like, immigrant household, immigrant family, like, it's just a matter of having that kind of desire for myself. But yeah, those are a couple things about me. What else? I'm 5'2".
So she's a little boss lady.
I'm a little boss lady. I got
little boss lady doing big things.
Exactly. You heard?
That makes sense and goes full circle because I have an affinity for Trini people. Yeah, y'all are beautiful. So what I said in the beginning about her being the prettiest girl in school, it stands true. And it makes sense because y'all are pretty. The men, the women, the everything in between.
Good culture. You gotta come to a Trini party one day. You gotta pull up. Pull up to the household.
Send me the invite and I will be there. And don't be mad if I marry one of your cousins.
I got you. I'm gonna set you over the best one.
Exactly. You know the tea.
Little weirdo.
You know the tea. You know the tea.
I got you, girl.
All right, guys. Part 2 is coming. And I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for it. I've got the best ideas, I gotta say. Well.
Creative genius over here, this one. Okay, don't sleep on Renny. When she famous, you gonna be tight.
Yeah.
You ain't show her love.
No, it's true. It's true. But, okay, boo. I'm so happy that we were here today. And honestly, it's going full circle to the top of the podcast on how, like, timing is everything. This second episode probably wouldn't have happened if we recorded that day.
That's facts. Wow. Wow, you see?
It's the woo-woo.
Divine timing, okay? It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing.
I'm thankful.
See?
So
there we go.
I'm gonna ask Shania what she wants me to link down there in the description so y'all can tap in with her, her business, and maybe she'll help you out one day with your own.
Woo! That was good stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff. I'm excited.
Thank you for being here, baby.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
And to much more business together.
Oh, period. We got it in the bag.